conversation. I just want to keep this going. What the fuck would we do with a website? Like, we don't need. We don't. What would we put on there?
Where the fuck am I supposed to put out my naked content?
No, 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 none of
You do
that.
What
realize
no?
we're live.
Yeah, I do. We start
Yeah,
off with a bang.
he's
With that being
frozen.
said, hello, fellas, and
Yeah.
welcome to Christos OnlyFans.
No, I'm not on that one. No, thank you.
So
But we are
basically,
back.
sorry, go on.
Oh no,
I
I
just
was just
wanted
gonna
to
say.
plug in my OnlyFans, but you guys do not seem very fond of it. So
You're
I'd
making
pay
more
for
money
it.
than the pod. We can't have that happening. It's a little bit of jealousy there.
bro,
I'd pay for it.
Flamini had a company that produced water or whatever, and he was worth like I don't know, billions of euros. That's more than what Arsenal makes in its entire history of existence. So a member
This
of
is
of a
this is
of
even
a club.
funnier because your icon is frozen.
Is it frozen still?
Yeah, let me see what I can do.
This is
Okay.
great. This
No,
is
yeah,
great.
it's still frozen. Yeah, this is a train wreck of a start. Remove from stream and add back?
Nah, just
Question
remove
mark?
him. It's okay.
Yeah, well, he already got his plug. He needs to put in the work.
Well, hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Brothers of the World podcast, featuring a plug by Christo and his OnlyFans.
Well,
Christo,
he
take it
usually
away.
just tells us to plug things. We're usually the ones getting told to do his advertising. So, I mean, full freedom us right now, but we are back. We are live. Looking back at the last episode we had, I mean, the end of that was so much unintentional foreshadowing because we were talking about transfers and we were like, oh, yeah, if there's a big transfer, we'll be back live. And then like the next day, the Vlahovic stuff happens for U of A, and then Inter, of course, answers with Robin Gosens. There's still so much happening, so much that could happen. But I'll just start with you, Ian. I mean, were you expecting anything like what we've seen in the past week?
Honestly, I'm shocked. I thought we were broke. I thought we could barely scrap the money to.
Sorry, just explain your headband first, and then we can proceed with.
I told Mikey, you know, the string or the elastic that's in the hoodie
Okay.
in this. I removed them from everywhere because I don't like it. Because it oh, there we go. Because it always falls out when you do it when you throw it in the washing machine, and I just had it randomly here. I
You
don't
look
know.
like
He's
poor
doing
man's Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
He's doing his best Rambo.
No,
Also,
Michael.
speaking of Cobra Kai, if you want us to sponsor you,
What?
just yeah, I'm getting the Cobra Kai sponsorship. Let's do it.
Okay.
This is
You look
happening.
like Prison Mike from The Office. If someone has
I
seen
can
it.
work with Prison Mike as well. The Office, Steve Carell, drop me a DM. Let's make it happen, baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
We
sorry,
have
go
gone
on.
corporate. We have gone corporate. We have sold out. But yeah, we're gonna try to start on transfers. I mean, what are we saying, guys?
Oh wait, Interclub Macedonia. Let's go. Where's my hat? Wait, give me a second.
Ooh, this is
Mike,
not
did you
going.
expect Gosens to sign for Inter?
No, I did not. I had not expected that since the summer when we looked at him, or it said that he was being looked at, but then of course names like Kostic were bigger. You're hearing more about him than that Ben Spiani guy. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but from Gladbach. I mean, we saw him in the Champions League. This Inter likes to sign. It seems like somebody from their competitors in the past Champions League. So I thought that could have been very, likely. But Gosens, it came out of nowhere. I thought he was going to go back to Germany. That's what all indications seem since the summer is like he wants to go back to the Bundesliga. He's just going to run down his contract and go back. But I don't know what's changed. I don't know whose ear Beppe Marotta got in. I don't know how he got into Steven Zhang's ear. I don't know maybe if him getting to lift that trophy, maybe loosened up the cash a little bit from China. I don't know, but I mean, it's great to see. I'm really glad that we're actually working on some transfers for the future. I mean, because he's still injured. If this gets to an open market in the summer, there's probably more competition. So now was the best time. Perisic is still fit. He's still going to be starting, but he's going to have the best competition possible for the first time, I think, in his Inter career, because that was part of his problem on the left in seasons past is you get that purple patch and then he has no motivation to continue it. We saw that in the Spalletti years, but everything's pointing up. This window gave me a lot more confidence going into the future than I think I had before it opened. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I didn't know where we found the money for Gozens. I thought we were broke, could barely get the money to renew Brozovic. It really is a shocking turn of events. Let's say it like that. A surprising turn of events. I mean, if we can get another midfielder to play backup or even just help lessen the load, now that Sensi has gone as well, this would be like a 8 out of 10 window for me with Felipe Caicedo coming in to play that vice check or even start in front of him. We'll see. I just think it's finally good time to go out and do something. We've been hearing that we'll have to sell players again, that we can barely afford to renew players. It's just nice to hear or to see some movement in the market.
Yeah, I mean, if we're still going to get bad news of someone being sold, at least we're getting the good before the bad for once, I guess. But
True,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah. But Hristo, what do you think? I know we've got Gosens marked off. We've got Caicedo in. There's still talks about maybe someone like Fratesi in the last day. I mean, I don't know how much difference he would make to the squad at this point. I like him, I think. But yeah, I don't know about that one. But do you think anything else is going to happen in the window? And if it doesn't, are you happy? Like, do you think this is enough?
You're muted.
Yeah.
I would be because Gosens is someone that all of us wanted at Inter for years and years. I know that at the beginning of the podcast, me and you and Chino at the time spoke about the importance of the wingbacks for Conte, and now with Inzaghi, it seems like it's the same necessity in a way. So Gosens being the best left wing back in the league, scoring so many important goals, I think he'll fit like a glove because he has been an amazing servant for Atalanta. He is a left wing back who can, play in many more positions, but his posture doesn't seem like like a wing back. He looks like a midfielder who can score, who can create. I think overall he is a very well-rounded player who can help us achieve our goal this season, which is to retain the Scudetto. As far as Caicedo, all of us spoke about Caicedo, spoke about many other names, among them, of course, being Caicedo. I'll be happy with him because he arrives with intention to be a backup, to play when needed. Like a type of striker that we haven't had even under Conte, because when Lukaku was out, we used Alexis Sanchez, who is far from the caliber of player that Lukaku was at the time or Dzeko is now. So we lacked someone like Caicedo, but yeah, Maroto moves quickly. Gosens for like 25 million on loan in obligation, 18-month loan, amazing deal. Yeah, Skamaka was only an idea last week, and now it seems like he's he's a done deal for the summer, as well as Fratesi. So I can only applaud the effort because I know that he works with no money. So to be able to sign the best wingback in the league, having zero on your books for this season is an amazing deal for me.
Yeah, I mean it really is something that I think the management deserves a lot of credit for scraping together the money to do it. And I know that I'm looking for it. I know the deal for Gosens is like such a sweetheart deal. Like I don't know if Beppe has dirt on the management at Atalanta, but it is an insane deal. I know it's an 18-month loan. It's 20 something million.
22 mil.
22 million. I don't know why I can't find this tweet. It was from Fede Nerazzurra, who you know is one of the best in the business on Twitter. But I cannot find it. But I know it's one of those very spread out deals. Like it's gonna be where you're paying over a long amount of time, but like small increments. It's gonna be a good deal for the club. Very sustainable. Um, but I guess maybe 2-3 years down the road, we're selling somebody for the rest of that payment. But hopefully not. Hopefully by then, we've got some more stuff sorted out. I mean, there was a whole bond restructuring thing I know that's gone on this window that I can't tell you what it means, but I don't know.
I think
Um,
the obligation to buy for him is basically the clause that the option becomes an obligation when Inter scores the first goal in Serie A next season. Which is, as much as you can work around the rules, you're bending it so much. And I love to see rule bending missions, transfers, loans, whatever. So I'm happy for that because, as I said, working with no money is a huge downside for Inter, and we know how good Marotta is as a sporting director. Imagine him, at the Premier League club with a lot of money. He can buy whoever you want.
okay, I found it. Thank you for taking up that time. But 22 million euros plus three with bonuses. 5 installments only after the 18-month loan. So I
Well,
mean, what kind of? I don't know if they're apologizing for like screwing us with Gagliardini, but whatever it is, I sincerely thank the other Nerazzurri club in Italy. But you mentioned Caicedo, who I mean, I think it was the last episode or episode before. I said I didn't want that guy, but now we have that guy, so I've got to swallow my pride a little bit. I hope he does well. I have seen some people I think overhyping it a little bit. I mean, he's going to be a fourth striker. Um, but that's really all we need from him, I guess. A few goals, like I'd be happy with what like 5 from here to the end of the season. Like that would be chipping in, but I don't know. That's just a depth move to me. Of course, Kolarov is out the door, retiring. That moves Demarco to his spot at backup left center back. So there's been a little bit of restructuring in the squad. Of course, Skamaka also been mentioned. That's pretty much a done deal for the summer. It seems like it's very early to say that. I'm gonna knock on some wood, but it looks like the Skamaka Fratesi duo might, be very much a thing that happens. It would be great, but yeah. I mean, I think it's good. I think everything looks good. The squad is going for a slight overhaul, I would say. Like not nothing a retooling, I guess is a better way to put it. But I feel like it's being done in the best way possible. You're bringing in these younger guys, but you're bringing them in, slowly while you still have, their predecessors still here in front of them. Like you look at the Gosens Perisic deal, or if you're bringing in Skamaka, who can, look to Dzeko for a year. Fratesi is going to be playing with some of the best midfielders in the league, if, of course, it all happens. But yeah, I asked people to convince me on Skamaka last episode, and then the Vlahovic to Juve deal happens. So I have to go out and become a comp scholar, and I have to swallow my pride for that. And I have to go convince myself on Skamaka. But I guess I did. I don't think I gave I don't think I gave him enough credit at Genoa because that was a bad Genoa side. Um, but everything that I've seen, I mean, you can make anybody look like a god on a comp, but I like his movement a lot. That's something I didn't realize he really had in his game. I think it's something that could translate very well if he learns from Jekko. He puts in the work. I know that's been something people have questioned, but I think that could also be a good transfer. But yeah, after the Vlahovic deal, Ian, did that really like make you as like I did want to go more, all in on Skamaka? Because I mean, what else are we gonna do?
It's honestly, like I said last episode, I can't talk much about Skamaka. Only seen compilations of him. I won't dive too much into that because, like you said, you can make everyone look like a god on compilations. We all remember what happened with João Mario. I really don't want a repeat of that. But no, I mean, he plays good in Sassuolo. We all know the Sassuolo and Atalanta juice. We saw what happened with Sensi when he came to us. We know what happens with players when they leave Gagliardini. When players leave Atalanta, I'll wait a bit before I make my final judgment or comments or anything. But honestly, any young, prosperous striker or midfielder or anything is more than welcome. I just hope it all plays out.
What about you, Hristo? What are you thinking? Has anything changed now that Vlahovic is going to be Juve's top guy? And Inter kind of do need of a reply to that. I mean, the Gosens deal was a good reply, but you need a striker, right?
You do need a striker. Everything that you've said, holds water. I'm not convinced on Skamaka yet. I think the price range of 45 million is way too much for my likings. He is yet to be proven. He's not someone that started for Genoa, nor he's a starter for Sassuolo. Um, I need more time to be convinced on him and sold on him. But as a caliber of player, I do like him. I think he is a caliber of player that we need as a team. A similar type of player to Jeko, but and I said yesterday similar type of player to Icardi, with the exception of better movement in a sense, or more mobile was the exact word that I used. Um, I do like him. I like Fratesi as well, but ah, I need more time when it comes to signing players, because everyone can have a stretch of 4 months where they look amazing. Since he was on the brink of joining Barcelona 2 years ago, and now he's on loan with at the same club as Candreva. You know, so football is a strange world. There's a lot of time between now and the end of the season. Maybe if we sign Skamaka, secure him, and Fratesi, maybe their prices will skyrocket. I've seen some, indications that Borussia Dortmund was interested in Skamaka as a replacement for Haaland, which says a lot if that is true. But I do like Skamaka. Just need to be convinced even more in time of you know in the period from now until the end of the season. But
Yeah, I
hopefully,
mean, you just got to be on
I've seen.
Sassuolo watch. You got to be on Sassuolo watch from here to the end of the season.
I've been, but Sassuolo is one thing, Inter is another thing. Sensi was not that convincing at his previous club. We all said, we were very of him, transitioning from a smaller to a huge club like Inter, but we were sure that Barella will fit in well. And it was Sensi who, you know, um, overrode the emotions for Barella in the first month, because Sensi was the. Honestly, I said to myself, he's the best midfielder that I've seen at Inter in the past decade. At the time, that September when he arrived, and we were, since maybe it might be a backup to Brozovic, this and that. Barella is the world beater, which he is. He was, I think, we paid 40 to 45 million because he is a secure thing. Like, we all knew that his price is high, but he was a sure thing. There's no bust. He was gonna be either a very good player or like a sky's the limit. The bottom is that he was gonna be a good player. which he was, even at a shit team like Cagliari. And look at Cagliari now. They've been battling relegation for 3 seasons straight. Yeah, I just the transition is the key when we speak about transferring players from Sassuolo to Inter.
Yeah, I mean, what was that line that Antonio Conte had in his first season where he said, we have players from Cagliari and Sassuolo. Like, what do you expect me to do? Something along those lines after losing to Dortmund in Champions League. But yeah, of course, like the Gosens deal is different in that is what that player is. He plays in the Champions League every year. He plays for his national team at a high level where it's hard to get into that national team if you don't play in the Bundesliga. They are, they very much prefer to stay within their league the same way that, it's hard to get into the Italian national team if you're not in Serie A. But Scamacca, Fratesi, they do have the potential. Everyone develops at a different rate. They're both still young. And I know some people don't want younger players. Like I've seen takes where people are like, "Oh, well, we need ready-made right now." Guys who are going to come in, sign the contract, give us 3, 4, 5 years at peak and then move on. But we don't have that kind of money right now. We can't just bring in the sure things. You have to scout a little bit more when you don't have money. You have to, gamble a little bit. If you have good scouts and good management, like I think Inter has right now, I think, you are a little safer in going out and trying to make those judgments, but it's not always 100%. Barella was, I think, more of a lock than either of the two guys that we're talking about right now, Scamacca and Fratesi. I mean, even Barella, I criticized. You can go all the way back to like the first episodes of this podcast where, he was about to come in, Barella was, and I was very unsure. I was like, what is this guy going to bring? Or can he translate the same stuff Risto's saying about Fratesi and Scamacca? I was saying that about Barella. And I mean, he makes me eat my words on a weekly basis these days. But it really is kind of a hit or miss thing. When you are a bigger club, I think you are more likely to land because you can pay more for your management. You can pay more for your scouts. You have a bigger network. So I'm hoping all of that, works out. I'm hoping that everyone's done their homework and that everything's going to be surefire. I know Raspadori is still being talked about, not as much anymore. But, Inter does have an eye on these younger players, but it doesn't mean that, that we're going to go to a really young type team. But you look at any, I guess SofaScore is the best one, but they show the average age of the side that's put out, and Inter is consistently one of the older sides in Serie A. So it is a necessary refresh that this team needs. Onana is another one that we haven't talked about. He's, of course, coming in and is going to drop the average age very significantly in the squad. But to move into that, have you guys watched any of AFCON? Have you guys watched any of Onana? No? Okay, I've watched a little bit. I watched a couple games. He's looked a little shaky at times, but he's also shown his quality. And something I've noticed about his goalkeeping style, I'm hijacking the conversation again now, but his style is really interesting to me. The way that, I had never really watched him too in depth at Ajax. I watched when they beat Juve and when they beat Real Madrid. But beyond that, I don't watch the Eredivisie week in, week out. But I've noticed that there's this thing that he does where he kind of turns. The way he makes himself bigger is something I feel like we don't like. It's a different way. Like he uses his feet a lot more, like kick saves and such. And I don't know. He has a really interesting goalkeeping style, I think. But yeah, I guess there's no reply to that because y'all haven't been watching. But I'm doing the scouting. I'm doing the scouting.
It's just different from what we were used to or what we are used to so far in the past decade. So I think as far as he's better than what we have now, it will be an easy transition, which I have no doubts about.
Yeah.
He seems like the more acrobatic goalkeeper. Makes those flashy acrobatic saves. Has tendency to go punch it out more on crosses and corners.
To use football manager terms, I would say more eccentric.
There you go. He's more eccentric. No,
Uh,
but yeah,
less
Then what?
less stoic than our man in goal right now.
look,
Oh,
my
God,
man knows
God
when
help
to
me.
move. Why bother wasting
Does he know
energy when
when
you
to?
don't
He
have?
knows when to move. He knows when not to
Yeah,
move.
yeah, he
Sometimes.
Yeah,
knows. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, what's his trigger to move?
What?
The referee's whistle for half time and at the end of the match. That's his, sign to
Well, he
move
has to
because
go. He has to go to the coin flip. He has to, exchange pennants with the other captain, and then he walks to his goal. Then he stands there for 45 minutes, and he walks off.
I
he
mean,
gets a
would
clean
you?
sheet.
Yeah, why wait?
Yeah,
Why waste energy when you don't have to? Simple
yeah,
as that.
yeah, fair
You know,
enough.
I love that theory. I'm that myself, with the exception of not being Inter's goalkeeper. Although
Boo,
outside of the pitch,
boo.
I love that idea. I'm just looking at Sensi's profile on Transfermarkt, and I cannot stop thinking that we had the chance not to sign him. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. Why? I don't remember any of other name mentioned around that time. Like it was Cincy. Like it was kind of. I remember it was kind of out of the blue. I thought like it
No,
wasn't
no.
a
We
very long
he was
saga.
on
He was on
he was
alone.
on
Yeah.
loan with the option to buy,
Oh, it
and
was an option.
us two and
I thought it
someone
was
else.
option. Wink, wink. Handshake, nudge, nudge.
No,
Like
it was an
Might have
option,
been.
and I mean, sorry, yeah, might have been, but on paper, the actual agreement, it was an option, and I know there was a lot of back and forth, and we were talking about him on one of the episodes about should we sign him, should we spend the money, the 20 to 25 million, 25 according to Transfermarkt, on someone else. Um, in retrospect, I think we all agreed that he's not worth buying because 25 is a lot of money. Uh, it was a time of Corona transfers, so it wasn't worth it. But at the end of the day, hopefully he can turn the career back and be successful at least as a rotation option.
I mean,
yeah. Do you think
hindsight
Sampdoria
is.
is a good place for him to do this? Do you think that he'll get playing time if he's fit?
I think he will because Adrien and the Portuguese guy left the club. I think so. There's void to be filled by someone like him, a creative midfielder. Small, very agile. As far as a playing style, he fits in perfectly. The only thing, as we all know, is his availability status. I don't know if he's available enough or will he be to actually improve on the injuries. Maybe they have better, physiotherapists and whatnot. I just hope that he comes back to Inter and is as a rotation option, available to Inter.
Maybe he'll stop being a vegan and get his shit in order.
Is
Hey,
he
respect
vegan?
veganism. Come on now. Come on
Whoa,
now.
whoa,
I
whoa.
think.
Vegan
I
Is it
food
think he's
vegan?
vegan.
slaps.
I think he is.
Vegan food
Wasn't that like?
slaps.
That explains a lot.
Boo.
You'll see
No.
here in the Balkans, if you don't eat
No.
meat, if you don't eat javapi,
I
please
mean,
and
I
shit like
still
that,
eat meat.
you
I still eat meat, but like most of the time, I do opt for the vegan option just for,
You
my
know,
own health reasons.
I do agree with that, but being 100% on one side or the other is very unhealthy, and straying from good options and nutrition when you are so bad at being injured all the time, it's not something that you have on your repertoire. So as far as I'm concerned, either eat meat or get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
And
come
he fucked
on.
off.
Oh, come on. Boo. Nah, but I mean,
Okay, Pita.
he had health conditions before he got to Inter. We knew the injury rap sheet.
Do you want us to compare the injuries before and after being vegan?
Oh,
Ask
how
Djokovic,
do you know?
bro.
How do you know when? There was no line.
I
We
mean,
can
look,
track back.
hindsight
You
is
can you can look
2020.
back to when Pinchas came and just completely like snapped his legs in half and like had this guy like sweeping rain outside when it would rain outside of the training ground and
Exactly.
shit.
I'm not seeing Lukaku being injured at Inter at all times, or the guys drinking mate throughout the day instead of playing football, being injured. Just look at
Drinking
the
mate and
fucking
being injured. That's what Joaquin Correa does. Come on now.
no.
Respect the drip. Respect the sauce, first of all. Come on.
Well, he needs to eat some more sauce. I don't know what he needs. He needs something. This guy's injured
I'm not
so
asking much of
much.
them,
We
but
had to
like,
go
come on,
sign
one steak a
Caicedo.
week.
We had to go sign Felipe Caicedo because Joaquin Correa cannot stay on the pitch. I mean, it may not. It probably isn't his own fault. All these professional footballers have been grinding their bodies since they were like young. Like, I mean, they've been playing football nonstop just even to get to the level they're at. So you never know when someone's body's just going to give out. But I mean, it's not. It still doesn't make it, a great situation. But every footballer, has a day that they're going to be told that they can't play anymore. That their body's just going to give up. I mean, we see it with Zlatan right now.
I mean,
Like, it comes sooner or later.
I would have said Zlatan, but like he still wants to embarrass himself, which he's doing that on weekly basis when he plays. So you need to be. I think I've mentioned when like the situation with Zanetti. He knew when to say stop and not to embarrass himself anymore. Because even now, if you plug him in, he can be a decent starter for a relegation side. Because look at the other options. Dalbert was playing until last season as a regular starter, and I'm sure even Ian with that shitty headband can be a better footballer than
Bruh.
him.
Respect the drip.
All right,
Respect
let me
the
let me
drip.
get to some comments here. We've been going 31 minutes, and the
King Darian
chat's been
just said
pretty
Sensi
crazy.
needs some steak, which I agree with.
Steak, chicken, anything, just
Let's
once
start
a
at the
week, bro.
front. Let's start at
Once.
the top. Matija Jovic and Mr. Pleasant, all guys I've recognized. What's up, guys?
Share the comments,
Matija,
please.
this one I love. Said Ian
Who's
looks like
Bjorn
Bjorn
Borg?
Borg. You don't know who Bjorn Borg is?
Who's
He
that?
was a tennis player in like the
Yeah.
80s, 90s. Swedish, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, long blonde hair. Played with
Okay,
the
let's do it.
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, the headband giving looks.
Sexy as fuck.
Mr. Jesus, whatever you prefer it to be pronounced as. We need to fix the midfield with one superstar player, not so young and talented. I mean, we don't
Savic.
have. You got Milinkovic Savic money.
Bro,
I don't think we have
Marotta can
Milinkovic
do
Savic.
wonder. Bro,
Oh, when
Marotta
does his
signed.
contract run out?
Let me check. I'm on Transfermarkt.
That's the only way I think we get him. It would have to be on a free.
But-
He'd have to run his contract
Okay, but
down.
he probably wants to play week in, week out. Who are you going to bench?
Çalhanoğlu.
Do you really?
Can you right now?
Yes.
To quote
2024.
Drago, who's going to take the corners?
Oh, come on. We're not going there.
Who's going to take the corners?
Brozovic.
Okay, who's going to take the free kicks?
Brozovic.
DeMarco.
Don't mention that to Eddie. Eddie's still
Um,
salty about Marco.
but still going down. Gosens
He's-
is a fun surprise. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us expected that. The news came out. It kind of felt like a more muted version of when the Hakimi news came out. When I mean, he signed out of the blue. It was one of those fun type days to be on Twitter where everyone's like, "Oh my god, what just happened?" Like, it was fun.
Bro, no one expected. That's the thing. It's like there's no rumors, there's nothing. And all of a sudden, the best wing back in the league joins your club. And we spoke about Gosen so much extensively. And that's so funny. And that makes me happy as an Inter fan to see someone like him join your club without any rumors or anything like that.
Yeah, and then the quote that came out from his agent that was like, "Why Inter?" And then he was like, "Yeah, because it's Inter." And I mean, it's a very good one-liner right there. I think that made everyone feel good. That Inter, still without the massive amounts of cash that I don't know where Juve just came up with for Vlahovic.
It is a
But we
Pepe
still
type
have
deal
pull.
for
And I mean,
Vlahovic.
yeah. And Golson's had offers. I mean, he had Newcastle offers, and we've seen Newcastle trying to splash the cash, but I mean, nobody really wants to go there because no one wants to play in the championship next season. But I mean, they can offer the moon in terms of wages. And I think they offered more in terms of like fee to Atalanta. But Gosens, I mean, he knows what it's like to play in the Champions League, to play at the highest level, and he wants to continue that because Inter is a club that does that.
True, but like same could be said for Vlahovic. You know, Arsenal offered more money, I think, than Juventus, and he still said, "Fuck that, I ain't going to England." To be fair, who can blame him? I'm looking at the weather in Newcastle. It's just raining and snowing the whole next 14 days. You really want to be there?
And the
Eating
thing about
beans on
Vlahovic is that,
toast.
bro, 75 million for a striker in January is mad. I
Yeah.
would be the happiest person on earth if he failed.
I'm preying on downfalls now. I mean, I get it, but when was the last time a striker really flopped at Juventus? Like, even the bad ones have been decent. Like, I mean, Morata there right now, I mean, is decent. He's a average-ish striker, I guess.
I mean,
He still scores against the lower opposition, but you know, I'm not a fan of him. Never have been. But I don't understand how he's like still frauding his way around the top clubs.
I do agree with that. I just, Vlahovic is an amazing player, but you can always hope for a downfall of a Juventus player, and
And it might mean it might mean Dybala out too. I mean, that's 70 million, and then Beppe can come back around with another phone call. But I guess the Dybala stuff, I'm sure we'll get into more towards the business end of the season when summer transfers are looking likely.
Marotta is moving so mad that I wouldn't be surprised if Dybala to Inter is announced tomorrow.
Little deadline day special right there.
Or Savic, Savic for 20 million plus Gagliardini and 5 goats for Lazio.
Yeah. I'm still looking at the comments. We got Figo. He wants Ian's headband. He wants my mug. We'll get it arranged. We'll
Figo, we need you to pay up money, brother. Money.
Nah.
Figo, you want everything. You want this picture behind me. You want.
I wanted everything on top of Dave's fridge. I wanted everything on top of Dave's fridge last episode. He's on a mad one, bro.
If Figo wants Ian himself, just subscribe to our page, go Diddy, and we can reach something. $20 would be enough. I said
we'll put it in the contract.
We will deal. We will
talk
deal
about it
behind the scenes. We'll do some dealing. Mr. Pleasant said Caicedo's a neat deal. No working time to Inzaghi. Proven in all competitions. And as a backup, should be reliable. I mean, yeah, that's what Inzaghi had him for at Lazio, and I mean, we saw Correa to Caicedo against Juve in extra time or added time late in that match. So, I mean, we've seen what these strikers can do with Inzaghi, but, I guess it's just up to the players to translate that over again. And Ian is, not in the dark anymore. But, yeah, what do you guys think about Caicedo? I know we touched on it a little bit, but, is that enough for a fourth striker? And is that replacing Correa? Like, is this just a vote of no confidence in Joaquin Correa?
I mean, for 800K until the end of the season, no other fees from what we've heard to be in place of an injury-prone player, you can't really go wrong. Knows the coach, knows the system, knows the league. Can't go wrong with that. I mean, he came up clutch a couple of times for Inzaghi as well. Like you said, that injury time equalizer against Juventus. If Correa's gonna do Correa things, or should I say do Sensi things and not stay fit, get someone else. We're going for the championship. You can't mess around. If you're going to secure Champions League, sure, you can try and do it without a player, but this is the first place. Come on, this is the championship. You can't really not expect to have a backup, a proper backup for a player. You know, I'm all for this deal.
Risto?
Hands down. I'll sign. I'll sign myself for Caicedo until the end of the season. I do like him. Like I liked him. I said that I like him even last year as a backup to Lukaku. I do like him as a backup to Dzeko until the end of the season. And I think it's a perfect backup for the money or the lack of money for us so far. Until the end of the season, it's a no-brainer, especially because I do think that we'll sign Skamaka in the summer. And Skamaka as a starter and Dzeko as his replacement off of the bench. I think it's a duo, it's a combination that we haven't had. A pair of, tall, mobile strikers since I can remember. So I'm down for the move, and hopefully we can sign someone else for the left side, as Perisic doesn't seem like he's gonna extend the contract because the parties are so far apart. Hopefully, we can materialize on some of the situations from players that are out of contract in the summer, and be in a better position that we are now.
Did you know that Caicedo was at Manchester City for 3 years?
About 10 years ago or
I
so.
you took my words. Basically, I wanted to ask the same question, and at Lokomotiv Moscow because I don't remember him being at, in Spain or Lokomotiv Moscow. He was also in Al Jazeera for. Let me see.
9 appearances, 4 goals.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a nice paycheck though.
I want to see.
I'm sure that was a good one. But I mean, his pure numbers. The only reason I have this up is because I wanted to look, because I mean, this was one thing that kind of turned me off. His pure numbers. He had 105 appearances at Lazio. Given,
Can you put it on the screen? Can you share the screen?
I can actually, but it is Wikipedia and
technology
dog.
rock.
But we're in
technology.
the 21st century, so
2022. Yo, everyone who's watching,
yeah,
please
so
like the
I will
stream.
zoom in. Yeah, please. But
Yeah, don't be.
see how this looks. We got
Don't be a Hristo.
Lazio, 105 appearances, 28 goals. I mean, on a pure numbers, look at it. That's not great.
Can we judge
how
him
many
though?
of those are subs?
Yeah,
Not even
given
subs.
that
How many
too.
of those are like 10-minute cameo appearances?
Exactly.
Yeah, that is fair. Just something about that 105, 28. I don't know. That just doesn't seem great. 19 and 39 at Espanyol. Given I don't remember him at Espanyol. 1 and 9 at Genoa this season, but I just don't think he's been preferred, and that team is, a merry-go-round of managers. I don't think anyone knows what's going on there. But it's Inzaghi getting another one of his guys, possibly going to get him, a Scudetto, probably one of the biggest, titles he could have in his career, especially at this point. So it's just Inzaghi. I mean, Correa is gonna, if Inter are to, win the Scudetto this season, it's gonna be a Scudetto for Joaquin Correa and a Scudetto for Felipe Caicedo, who probably wouldn't get it any other way if he didn't know Inzaghi. So Inzaghi's letting his boys eat. You know what? I respect it.
What happens with Gosens's juices?
He's gonna get.
I guess we got to replicate it. Yeah, we got to find something else. We need Helenio Herrera's old juice.
Powerpuff Girl.
We need Helenio Herrera's old juice.
Sugar,
or
spice,
some
and
mix
everything.
of.
Ooh, I can take that off
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Okay, you know what? I feel like a tech genius right now.
Just hurt so much.
You look like
to
a
watch you
producer,
struggle.
Jay-Z.
What else
All
we
right,
got?
I have
doesn't
his
serve.
Lazio stats. on Transfer Market. I'll send you the link if you want to put it on the stream.
You,
You
Lazio
put it on?
private chat. from
Okay.
StreamYard.
Well, yeah. I'll do it then. Copy.
the NFL is starting in like
The
15 minutes.
NFL. Come on.
No one cares about that.
Bro.
Come on.
It's the most interesting shit in the world right now.
Okay,
The
so
real
yeah,
football.
Caicedo does have the Coppa
Tom Brady
Italia.
retired.
He does have a Coppa Italia win. With Inzaghi, he's got 2 Super Coppas that we know Inzaghi had. Swiss Cup. He's won the Swiss League. You know, this is a pretty decent little
Just
trophy. Really.
you know, shout out to all the Ecuadorians because he is the first Ecuadorian to play for the club. So another milestone.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait,
Yeah.
German text up top. That reminds me. Christo, can you go and pronounce that word?
What?
Robban Gosens.
Robin Gosens.
Robban Gosens.
What was the word that we needed to pronounce? I'll find it.
Oh my god. What else? What else do we have here in the chat?
Can you go a bit down to see his actual stats?
His actual stats. What do you want to see?
Oh,
stats.
there were before. Yeah, stats.
You
And
want
then
all seasons or current season?
All
I
seasons.
said it all seasons.
Okay.
They're better than this season, so
All seasons, yeah. Most he's had in
9
Serie A is 9. I mean, yeah, I'd take that from a backup.
9 at 1,370 minutes. Let me do the math.
Oh no, that's not a great number, but
That's like goal every 1.5 match, which is not bad considering.
yeah,
you're
not for
playing-
a backup. 4th choice, yeah. He had
Same
5
with-
assists in 1920.
Wow.
So that's 14 goal. That's 14 goal contributions in 30 matches from your backup striker.
That's like goal or assist every 75 minutes. If I do the math,
That's like
correctly.
Sanchez.
Just like fucking Morata.
Bringing
Or
it back full
Vlahovic.
circle.
He has 3 assists this season at Genoa, which is quite impressive considering how shit they are.
Oh, also Figo asked where Dave's at. He was supposed to be on. He was on his way back home to join up and ended up in a fender bender. So yeah, he's dealing with all that. Wishing him the best, hoping all is good, hoping all is well when he listens back to this. Dave, what
We're
up?
saying that
But he
he's
is
all good.
okay.
Yeah.
He is okay.
Yeah, of course, that much. Yeah,
Maybe
but-
you should start
Mr.
with that.
Okay, but everything else, it's still not a great situation. I meant it in that way. I'm trying to be nice. Some words of support to our friend, and y'all are just not having it from me.
Mike,
Prayers
let me
up.
open.
Do what?
I need to open Gosens and stats so we can feast on that and finish on that. I think that's the best that we can do so far.
Okay, I'm gonna close this so you don't have to watch me search like an idiot. So y'all go ahead and carry some conversation while I pull this up.
So yeah, Ian, how have you been doing this this
Great.
week so far?
Great. I just put the German word in the chat, so please, Christo,
German
if
word?
you-
Why does he need to pronounce a German word?
Yeah,
What the
but
fuck is this?
This is one guy said this is Gosens' nickname. I can try and pronounce it, but I'm gonna
Oh.
butcher it.
That's a mouthful. That is a
Bro,
absolute mouthful.
Mike, go. Try to pronounce it. You have, like whatever.
I'm not trying at all. Rock chicken.
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 Ian, go.
Das unaufhaltsame Rotkäppchen.
Ooh, a little
Ooh, the second
phlegm
word-
there. Ooh,
The
7
second
years
word.
of German.
Can you pronounce the second word once again?
Rotkäppchen. No, wait.
The
Rotkäppchen.
second, you dumbass.
Oh, sorry. Unaufhaltsame.
Das unaufhaltsame Rotkäppchen.
Why did you just use his pronunciation? You didn't even do your own. You asked him first.
Exactly.
Come on.
Just stole it. All right, so now that we have
I know
Mr. Pleasant in the
Falsame.
chat, can you let me know what that means?
Imagine something, offensive. Let
Oh
me
my
just
God.
share.
Also, Figo, no, Dave is not with 15 bad women laid out doing porn stuff. He is at home now.
No, yeah, he is doing insurance stuff, which is not as fun. But I have Gosens here. Oh, that's
Fuck,
current
I want
season.
to
That's
share
not going
this
to be
here.
anything. I have it shared right here. Yep, some nice injury history right there. That's been something that I've seen people talking about, people worried about. But
Wait, we have an update. It means the unstoppable red breast.
The fuck is a red breast?
oh, like a bird?
Mr. Pleasant, what the fuck is red breast? Das unfallsame Rotkännchen.
Okay, I have Gosens stats here.
Okay,
Whenever
that's better. The
the
unstoppable.
unstoppable
Robin.
Robin. See, it had to be a bird.
I like it. I like it.
He's a bird.
It's a superhero. Gives
The
us
unstoppable
potential.
Robin.
We have
Yo, fuck
Handanovic,
Batman, bro.
Batman. Excuse
Robin
you.
is the real deal.
Batman's the best superhero of all of them.
Robin is so far.
No,
as far as I'm concerned.
Handanovic, Batman, DC Universe.
All right, so we're gonna talk about some stats, or
Yeah,
no?
go on, and we
Before,
can finish it off on that.
Because the longer you run here, still, the longer I'm gonna keep you from that NFL.
I'm off in 3 minutes, so it's up to you.
All right. Well, we got stats here. Of course, his biggest season was last season. A massive 11 goals and 6 assists from the left wing back position. I mean, that is massive. That's a striker that happens to play as a defender. That is, the wing back.
That's better than Caicedo.
That is left. Yeah. That is left wing back, like, insanity. That is what Bastoni does from the center back position, but on steroids.
17 goals and assists in 32 matches. That's amazing. Like, let me pull up some striker stats, and you can, Ian, explain how is it possible for a left wing back.
It's the only reason that I can think of is that he used to play up forward, and then when
Did
he
he?
started playing professionally, he was pulled back. But since Gasperini's system is all about overloading people and just throwing everyone up front, he just feeds on that. He has a deadly cross. He's good with his feet. He can head the ball. I'm really excited about that. I love this guy for like over 4 years. I think it's a great bit of deal.
King Darian saying he has more goals than Tuku Correa. I mean, yeah, that is
Talking
true.
about more goals, he has 10 more goals and assists than Dybala had last season. He has been, outperforming strikers in the league, and I'm so happy to have him in my team. So all of us are united for Robin.
No, what's his nickname?
Das unfallsame Rotkännchen. Rotkällchen.
Hey man, I mean, y'all know more languages than me. I'll take what y'all say over what I say with the inept American school system. So
Natuurlijk, die Amerikanische systeem is sehr scheit.
yes, correct. I'm gonna get out of here with one more question I want to pose from Ricky Buzz. What areas do we need to strengthen? I guess this is, going into the last couple days of the Mercato. By the time this gets out, the window's probably going to be close to closing, and whatever will happen will have happened, and maybe we'll manifest something else the way that we manifested some transfers after the last episode. If we're going to strengthen anything, it's got to be a midfielder. Barella's out for both legs of the Liverpool tie. Gagliardini's still here. Vecino's still here. Vidal is still here. Vidal's the best at all those options, but of course, he doesn't have more than one match a week in him, and probably not more than one good match every couple of matches. So you need another midfielder, if for anything, just to bring a little bit more of a level of confidence when you see Inzaghi go into a subs bench and you see a midfielder getting up and you're up 2-1 somewhere and you're like, oh God, it's Vecino coming on for Brozovic. Like, you need something a little different, right?
I mean, yeah, if it's going to be, it has to be either a central midfielder or I wouldn't be opposed to a central defender because what we have, Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni, the main three, and then what? Di Marco, Ranocchia, okay, D'Ambrosio, the best in the world, Il Divino. So, I wouldn't be opposed to another center half. But yeah, central midfielder first, absolutely.
Christo?
Mike, aren't you excited to watch Canada against the USA? Think on that. As far as signings go, I think Fatesi is the possible option and the more realistic one. But I think if we could get our hands on Savic, no matter the price in the summer, a trio of Savic, Barella, and Brozovic could win you, trophies that so far for us are.
Bro, turn off the football manager.
I
Not
just use
happening.
eccentric. I just use eccentric as a word. I have like so many lifelines, so let me do my thing.
All right.
Everyone said
all
that.
right.
Everyone said that about Hakimi and Gosens in 2020 when I tweeted, and I have receipts to show.
We have
Um,
frozen Christo.
That's what we have to show.
it doesn't matter. We have.
Oh,
I have
he's back.
receipts. So when I say something, Savage Tinter is being realized or is being brought into the reality sooner rather than later. Trust me.
You look like
we
you're
can prove
being
it.
you look like you're being dubbed right now. I'm sorry. It's insane. No, but
doesn't
it's a
matter.
really great point. I like your points, but just that the StreamYard stream of that was art.
Maybe because the real football just started.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, last
Yeah.
thing, you say his name and he
No.
appears. Talking about Tuku Correa. Here's Uncle Sharma getting the receipts on Darian saying that Gosens has more goals than Tuku Correa. But yeah, Christo's gonna leave us for a different kind of football.
The real football.
We've been going for almost an hour here. We were talking about going like 30, 40 minutes, but we never do that. Thanks everyone. The stream was
No.
great. Christo, I don't know what you're being negative about. Ian, do you wanna talk us out again?
Do I? I
Do
do.
you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Ready? Lights, camera, action.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was trying to blow you up onto the screen and I hit remove.
Fuck's sake.
Oh God.
I try and
that
do the
was
corporate
good.
bit that no one wants to do,
That
and then I
was
get
good.
booted
That
out
was
for
good.
it. Come on.
That was
Come
too
on.
good. I'm sorry. Here you go. 2, 1, action.
Thank you for watching us live or listening to us on our various streaming platforms. Check us out on Twitter at BOTWPod. We are also on Instagram at BOTWPodcast and on Facebook at Brothers of the World Podcast. For other links, check out our link tree in the bios of our social medias. Check all our personal Twitters, all linked in the Twitter bio. For any sponsorships or collaborations, hit us up in the DMs on any platform. Like and subscribe our YouTube. What else? With all that, thank you for checking us